everyone, it's been a while, but I'm here today to do another booktube video. Today I'm going to talk about the books that I have been reading recently. There are quite a few because I'm a bit of a mood reader anyway, and then there are a few books that I was partway through, and then this whole lockdown situation came in and there were things that I didn't want to read about anymore, so we'll see what there is. I spent a lot of last year kind of slowly going through Kushiels Dart by Jacqueline Carey. I'm still working on this one. I've got about 200 pages left now, that last little chunk, and I'm hoping to get it finished soon. Unlike quite a lot of people, I am still working full-time at the moment, even though I'm working from home. Normally I read on my commute, but I'm doing other things with that time actually rather than reading. And also I don't have heaps of free time in the day to suddenly read all of the things. So I'm still going along quite slowly, but trying to read in my lunch break now and then. So I'm hoping to get this one finished this month, maybe even this week, just to get it done. If you're not familiar with it, this is a fantasy novel. I've read it before. It is about a woman who is trained to basically be a high-class courtesan, but also to spy on her clients. And there's a lot of political intrigue. It's set in a kind of alternate history France, but they do travel around bits of Europe. The bit I'm in currently, they've been in Britain. I really enjoy this book. It's just a lot to get through if I'm only reading it at bedtime. I have put down my copy of the Intoxicating Mr Laval somewhere, but that is another one that I was dipping in and out of. I'll insert the cover here to show you. It was going to be published, I believe, in May this year, but I think it has been pushed back to the autumn. I don't know about in the US, but in the UK certainly a lot of books are having their publication dates changed to try and get better publicity opportunities around them, because lots of literary festivals and all the events have been cancelled at the moment. I work in publishing and we've rearranged our entire summer publishing schedule in the last couple of weeks to take that into account. So yeah, the Intoxicating Mr Laval, I'm maybe halfway through. It is a historical fiction book about two brothers who've basically been raised kind of in isolation by their family, but trained to kind of go out and become part of high society by their mother and father, who were never really in it. Their father was a merchant, and obviously because that's a working profession, I believe this is kind of the 1800s, 1700s, something like that. Being a working family in that way was not going to set them into the highest bits of society. Now they are 21, or I think 20 and 21 respectively, because they're not twins. One of them is actually older, and they've been sent out to do a grand tour of Europe. One of them, however, knows that he is gay, and he is met up with this man by chance called Mr Laval, who I believe might also be gay, but it hasn't specifically been stated so far. I'm kind of dipping in and out of that one. It's not gripping me the way that I had hoped it would, but I'm still interested in finding out what happens next. Another book that I'm in and out of but haven't really got very far on yet is The Dreamers by Karen Thompson Walker. This is lovely copper foil on the front. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. I had just started this as bath time reading right before COVID-19 came along and had us all confined to our houses. It is about, or it starts in a college town where a girl falls asleep and just doesn't wake up, like a kind of Sleeping Beauty type thing. They think she's kind of in a coma, and then the first one does actually die, and then gradually other girls on the college campus come down with this thing. They look like they're just asleep, except they will not wake up. And I think this is going to be very interesting, but it kind of, because at the stage of the book that I'm at, people don't know how this is spreading from one person to another, just that obviously it must be connected because it's this really weird thing, these really specific symptoms that no one's seen before, so they must have something tying them together, but they don't know how it's spread yet. But it's all people in the same college dorm, and I just felt a little bit close to home to be reading just now. But I am going to see if I dip into a bit more of that soon. Also kind of taking over the bath time and bedtime reading spot then, that was A Murder of Magpies by Judith Blanders. I'm still quite early in this book. This is about an editor at a publishing house in London. She's just got the new manuscript in from one of her clients, and that manuscript is about the tell-all story of how this guy in the fashion industry, who supposedly everyone knows was murdered, but it's being denied that it was murder, and her client has written this book exposing it. And this editor is about to get mixed up in things because of that. It's fun so far. I'm very, very early on in it, so I'll give you a better description of that one soon. I'm also reading a couple of ebooks. I was listening to the audiobook of We Hunt the Flame. I had that on from my library on the audiobook app that they've got, and I got partway through, a little over halfway through, and then it had to be returned. But honestly, it wasn't gripping me as much as I'd hoped. It's a kind of historical setting where women very much have no power. They can't be allowed to do anything, yet there is this woman who is hunting in the magical forest that no one else can go into, and she's able to go in there and supply food to her little village, which otherwise would have been starving. And then one day there's the opportunity for her to go off to travel across the sea to an island where they could somehow bring back the magic that will save the country. I don't feel like it's very well explained why the magic will do that, or why the country is in the position that it's in. It took a very, very long time to get around to them actually leaving to go to the island, and just the twists and turns are not very twisty and turny to me. I think it's kind of back to a thing that I've said before, where a lot of young adult novels I just don't click with anymore. I just feel like I've read enough of them, and I don't find the surprising bits surprising. So I'll wait and probably listen to the rest of it when it comes back up, because there's a queue for it through the app at the moment, so I have to wait a few weeks until I can listen to the rest. But I'm not that fussed. I didn't feel like I needed to find out what was happening next. I'm also reading a historical romance novel at the moment. It is Innate to Surrender by Tessa Dare. It is the first book in her Spindle Cove series. I've read one of those books quite a while ago, and I can't remember which one it was, but I know it was a later one in the series. And my friend Jean has been reading this series recently, and when I was looking for something light and fun and really easy bedtime reading on the library app, then it occurred to me that maybe I should see if there were any other Tessa Dare books that I have not read yet, or any that I've read and enjoyed in the past and I could reread, and that one came up as being available to borrow straight away. So it's this little seaside village in England where women who don't quite fit into society the way that others do have come for a holiday or come to live, and the woman kind of organising this is the daughter of the local landowner, and this book is about her. She's turned it into a place where women are too shy to fit in society, or women who are separated from their husbands and things like that can come and spend time and be amongst people who kind of feel the same way as them. I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm nearly finished that one, so I'll maybe be reviewing it soon. The last book that I wanted to mention is one that I'm really enjoying at the moment, and I'm spending most of my time reading during the day, and that is called Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero. This is about it's set in the early 1990s in America. I think they're in Oregon, but it's this group of people who I think are about 25 at this point. They used to meet up at this girl's aunt's house in the summer when they were about 10 to 13, and there was 4 of them and 1 dog, and they solved mysteries. And this is a pattern that you see again and again in children's literature and TV, whether that's Scooby-Doo or like The Famous Five and all of these things. But in their final case, something big happened, and although they caught the guy in the mask who was doing it all, now on reflections many years later, they're all kind of getting together again saying, actually, there was more going on there, wasn't there? There was a monster there. There were these creepy things happening that were not made by the guy in the mask. It's really fun and light to read, but there are also moments of really creepy stuff as well that kind of come out of the blue in it. Well, not out of the blue, they fit, but it starts off very kind of idyllic setting, and then you get these twists of really creepy moments. So they're talking about, oh yeah, we caught that monster when we were 13, but remember those really horribly mauled bodies of deer in the woods and things, and it's like, oh, okay. really, really enjoying this. It's creepy, so it's a daytime read for me, not a bedtime one, but I'm loving it at the moment. So those are some of the books that I've got on my plate at the moment, and I will probably finish throughout the month of April. What have you been reading recently? I will talk to you all again soon. Bye!